Hello, welcome to the video. So we're going to talk a little bit about sustainability. That's a big word, right? I personally feel that, let me just preface this, but I agree with many of the sustainability things, all right? I'm not someone who wants to see the ice caps melt or whatever. Conservation is conservation. It's great. I've always leaned in towards that side. Growing up in northern New England in the mountains, we always had issue with people visiting and not respecting the environment, okay? However, it's gotten a little weird over the years, and it's fine. We have a goal of trying to be the best stewards as possible for the planet, and that's great. My biggest problem, what I was starting to say, is the word sustainability. Nowadays, it is an excellent word that applies in many applications, but people say sustainability, immediately you start thinking about the environment, which is fine. I just wish that we still had that word to use in other areas, because it's a very effective word. All right. However, what does it mean? It means doing things to the point we can continue to do them. All right. The opposite of sustainability is not doing things where we can continue to do them. When we use so much, when we expend so much, when we waste so much, that we ruin our chances for doing something in the future. And the environmental sustainability, basically, many people believe this, is that if we use too much, expend too much, waste too much, the thing that we're not, the lack of vision that we're having is in our own welfare. Because if we don't protect the things that give us life, then we don't have life. I mean, that's oversimplifying it, but a lot of people truly believe that in that basic, simplest form. Okay, so what does all this mean? Most of you know me enough now that I don't always look at things face value. I want to see how they apply in certain situations. Now, yes, environmentalism and sustainability for environmentalism, sustainability's sake is very important. But let's look at why we do that from the hospitality perspective. We do it from the hospitality perspective because basically, yes, we want to make sure that we can continue and we're not kicking the can down the road and putting off a problem till we know that it's going to come to a head. There's that part of it, but the other part of it is our customers. Okay, as part of our marketing, as part of our identity, it's part of what attracts people. So in the book in chapter 19, there's an awful lot to read about. Well, it's not a big chapter, but there is list a bunch of different certifications. So going towards those certifications, choosing the right one for your property is important, because not only are you working towards the goals of whatever that certificate is, you are also showing and demonstrating to your market that what's important to them is important to you. Now, there is such a thing called greenwashing. Okay, now greenwashing has the intention of capitalizing what I just said. Your market has a concern, and you're showing concern to your market so you can attract people. But greenwashing takes that a step further. Well, not a step further, I guess a step back, in that you are projecting that, but not actually doing that. All right. So when you choose your certifications, make sure that they're ones that are genuine and that you actually live up to it, because greenscaping can be bad. There are many companies. I remember years, not that long ago, 10 years or so, all these commercials started coming up for these major corporations about we're doing this for the environment and doing that for the environment, and capitalizing on that and trying to really hook the people who that particular thing was very important to them. And then it came out later that they weren't really doing what they were advertising, or maybe some of them were doing what they were advertising in that instance, but that one thing that they were really saying, hey, look at us, we're doing a wonderful thing, was basically, when you do that, you are for lack of a better word, it's tricking people into believe that, yes, if I do this, then I do it the whole thing. They assume that A equals B, C, D, and E, that they're doing this, that must be doing that. And it's came out to a lot of those places where, look at us, look what we're doing, this wonderful thing, but the rest of their stuff was horrible. And it would have been better if they just did 10% less of all of it than 100% of this and still did 100% of the bad stuff. So that's greenwashing. And the thing about it is, you would be, in my opinion, and I think your assignment is going to talk about this, in my opinion, greenwashing, being caught greenwashing, being exposed as greenwashing, is actually worse for your reputation than just not being all that involved in it. I mean, we all have to get involved in sustainability. That's not what I'm saying, but like I said, 100% of effort into one thing because it's easy and it's visible, and then everything else is terrible. You're better off if you really and truly are trying to do this stuff genuinely. You're better off spreading that effort out and cutting down on everything. Now, the bottom line is, eventually we have to really strive to being environmentally conscious in all of our decisions. And it can be difficult. As a former chef opening a restaurant, the green choices were always more expensive than the non-green choices. They always were less convenient to your customers. Even the ones that would scream at you, literally scream at you, saying this is not recyclable, and blah, 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 blah. When you started to do what they wanted to, they would get mad because of the price increase or the lack of convenience. So it's a delicate balance, and it's something we need to take serious just because there's so many landmines in it. All right. So greenwashing, bad. Okay. So read the chapter. There's a lot about the certificates. It kind of just briefly covers a lot about sustainability, but sustainability in people's minds is here to stay. Okay. And if we ignore it, and no, I'm sure that in this day and age, none of you would go about, just bombing your way through life and ignoring sustainability. But it is here to stay, and it is something that's important to our customers. Therefore, it is important to us. Okay? Have a good one.